Okay, well, this letter was written November the 11th, 1952.
And you are.
And we were married in 51. Do you remember?
Well, Susan, are you gonna,
Well, say who you are.
what do you, she knows who I am. We were, Susan and I were married in August 13th, 1952, and this letter was written November the 11th, 1952, to Susan's dad, my father-in-law, who was really upset that his daughter had not completed college because he was afraid that someday I'd run off and leave her and she wouldn't have any way to make a living. So anyway, I wrote this letter, Dear Jock, now that you're retired, I thought you might have time to read a letter and might like to know something more about how Susan is getting along. First of all, she seems to like her job. We got her a job at McDonald where I worked. I said McDonald is a very friendly, easygoing place to work, and even though you stay pretty busy, anyway, we were both sorry she couldn't go back to school, but the tuition at each of the schools here in town in St. Louis is right around $250 a semester, which is a little too much for us right now. She's done a pretty nice job on the apartment, and while we haven't finished decorating yet, the major portion is completed and we only spent $35. That includes the mattress springs, which we set up on concrete blocks like Betty and Ed did. And it's very important for Jock, my father-in-law, to know that we're not spending much money. Anyway, winter is beginning to show up around here with a heavy frost and some pretty bitter winds at times. Susan can't wait until it starts snowing, but before next spring, she'll probably sing a different tune. We're getting up in the dark, and then the sun is down by the time we get home at night, so it makes it seem like we spend all of our time at work. I don't need to tell you that the food has been good, but she has done a real good job about managing her money and serving some excellent meals too. She gets $25 a week to buy food, get the clothes clean, keep things, keeps soap, toothpaste, etc. in the house. Usually she has a little left over and saves to buy some sort of odds and ends for the house. And this kind of information is the type of information that her father would want to know about the most. You just can't compare living in Jacksonville to a place this size. St. Louis has a lot of things to do, but it's just not like a smaller town. Maybe it'll change as far as we're concerned someday. We've got several things planned as far as concerns entertainment. They have a wonderful art museum that we spent a couple of hours in and haven't scratched the surface yet, so we're going back. They have plays from New York here during the winter. Tonight we're going to see Julie Harris in I Am a Camera, which will be Susan's first. They have a hockey team that we want to watch, wants to see what it's like. Also, they have an ice skating rink that we're going to this weekend and try it ourselves. You see that we have plenty to occupy our time besides work and some nice young couples that we have met. However, the thing that would please you the most is that she stays busy and works hard and seems to approach her life so that the job at hand requires all of her effort.
was a real writer, wasn't he?
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but being more than a little ornery, I probably won't say it very much, and I suspect that you miss your youngest and think of her a lot and wouldn't mind me getting sentimental, so to speak, for just one letter. Anyway, the Lord only knows how thankful I am for my wife and how good she is to me. I'll always appreciate a good grief.
I was falling.
I'll always appreciate the way you sent us away and only hope that we can do as much in the future to make you and Mrs. Lawton happy. To have such a wish come true would make Susan completely happy, and it's something we both will work on. We'll work for. One last thing that is probably the most important to you: she is very happy, and I seem to be as good for her as she is for me. Nothing could be better than our marriage, at least not to us. I hope you won't worry about her. We've been thinking about you retiring. Well, it's almost as hard for me to start working for a living as it is for you to quit. We've got to get started to start getting ready for the show. So I'll just stop. I hope this finds you well. Your buddy, Sam.
It is a wonderful letter. It's